Well, one of the things that I do like about compound media and basically the podcasting world in general is the fact that so many people seem to actually be insane these days. It seems like there's a lot of fucking podcasters are losing their mind. The perfect example was, I think it was Halloween Day or just coming up to Halloween. The beautiful blue-eyed sweetheart Kevin Brennan lost his temper on the Anthony Cumia show and tried to attack the lovely brown-eyed dote, which is a nice
Gino,
word over here. Went over to Gino. I gotta ask, how much of that do you think was real? How much do you think was played up for the cameras? And do you think that the power going off was a happy accident that happened for Big Dog Kev?
It's 100% real. It's not like a scripted thing. Kevin's a nuclear device, where he's ready to go off at any moment and just fully explode. He's like Lewis Black's character Anger in that Pixar movie. I forgot what that one was, where they're all in the head. That was definitely a real moment. Gino was consistently messing with him. At that point, he was intentionally messing with him. Before that, it was just somebody, from what I understand, somebody called in with Kevin's info and gave it out over the air. And, that wasn't good either, but it just built up to this. And yeah, that explosion was completely real. The happy accident of the power going out, absolutely. I mean, it sucked. It took me an hour I was calling the building, trying to get somebody. It was on a Thursday, by the way. So like on a late Thursday afternoon, trying to get somebody over there to come look at the power structure, because we checked everything and it's like everything on our end was working. It has to be something in the wall or the wherever it connects to in the building. They finally showed up and fixed it like an hour and a half later. We had power back on because it wasn't just our studio. It was the two offices next to us all lost power too. So when Kevin slammed that door, it took out the whole row of that side of the floor that we were on. But yeah, that was all real. It's all nonsense. Podcasters, I mean, what else do they got going on? They got their stand-up dates, and then this, everybody's kind of regressed in a way. So they just blow up like kids.
But I gotta say, as a fan, I honestly think that this is.
Oh, as a fan, it was great to watch. I understand that.
I think that this is a golden age of podcasting. I just hope that nobody actually hurts each other, because I don't want people getting sued and then the podcast world getting fucked up. But
yeah, well, we'll have to see, because there's other podcasts out there that I know are. This one guy, I know everybody knows him. I know of him. I'm not saying, that's another bullshit thing. It's like, I don't know the guy. I don't know. I've never heard of them before. I'm not going to say. I'll say names and stuff. I'll admit I don't know much about him. I just know everybody talks about him. The Brendan Schaub guy.
Oh fuck yeah!
He was from what I understand, I know he's a friend of Rogan's, but he was a fighter that wasn't good, and now he's a comic that wasn't good, and he's doing a podcast that's falling apart. And everyone for the last couple of years hates. Like, I see clips all the time on my suggested YouTube thing. Brendan Schaub this, Brendan that. All these people talking about Brendan Schaub. He's another one that's ready, set to go, where he says his dumb shit, but nobody says it around him. Like, he's not in a world where regular people are around him, like most podcasters are. So if regular people around him, I think he would be the next one to kind of blow up with all of this stuff. Like, he could be. I think he's covered as much as Stuttering John is right now. Like, but he was like the predecessor before that. I used to see all these people that had clips, or somebody was talking about him all the time, and I never understood it. Like, I don't know the whole storyline with that guy, but I know he's something of an internet phenomenon as to why people hate him.
Yeah, but the problem with Brendan Schaub is, and it was like an old enemy of yours. Do you remember that guy called Zion Entertainment, and now he's called Uni? Well, he went after Brendan Schaub, and Brendan Schaub sued him.
He sued him, but that doesn't mean anything. Well, was it suing or was it a copyright strike?
No, they literally sent them. They had a court summons was sent to him.
So, that guy was what was his name?
Kyle.
He was served papers.
Yeah, and I don't know what the status is at the minute.
Dude, that's fucked.
Yeah,
that's kind of fucked up. Like, look, it's fucked up on one side where people are just constantly feel that it's okay to go and try to verbally destroy somebody on their podcasts and their shows and everything. Like, there's critique, there's criticism, there's objections, there's all of that stuff. But when it's your mission to ruin somebody like that, that's too far. But it's also too far where if you're a public figure, like you're a fighter, a comic, podcast guy, you're a public figure, you're out there putting yourself out there. It's not like he's talking topics and news stories and stuff like a radio guy. He's talking about his life and how all this shit, how great everything is, I guess, for him. You're open to, you put yourself out there to be open for that. You can't sue some of these people unless it's like damaging your business, attacking your family, or like you're threatening to kill the person or some like kind of bodily harm or something. There's certain ways to go that you can go after somebody, but if you're just suing because you don't like what they said about you, is that what the case was? Is that he just didn't like that he was being talked about?
There was a thing where Schaub had allegedly been exposed for flirting with a female podcaster, allegedly, and Schaub,
I do know that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say. Is it known of who it is? Do people know who the woman is?
Well, I
don't want to say her name. If
some LA who I don't know her name at all.
No, I think if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's a comic. It's a female comic.
Yeah.
Okay. I know this story then. Yeah.
I'm sure she's really funny because women are hilarious.
She is. If it's the one I'm thinking of, she is kind of funny. I've seen her open for various friends of mine. So
she didn't open for Brendan Schaub.
No, I guess not. So that caused the problem. But anyway, like I said, I know surface level of like the Brendan thing. But yeah, when you open it up to the public, you can't sue somebody. It's like, oh, they said horrible things about me. Yeah, well, horrible things are said about everybody right now. And if you're going to be in that line of work, you got to deal with it. Like, especially when go back to when he was a fighter. How many times you come out there and people are booing you? They don't like you. They like your opponent. So what are you going to sue half the audience because they were online saying that they called you a bum or you're a terrible fighter and everything, even though you dedicated your life to it? You're going to go start suing people on Twitter because they don't like how you were fighting. They don't like your stand-up. They don't like your podcast. Hey, well, they're talking about you. That's, one half of the battle, but you can't go fucking suing people. So what happened when he sued him? What happened?
I think it's still in the works. I haven't seen any updates, but in regards to Brendan Schaub getting booed at the UFC, he was so shit at fighting that the person booing him was actually Dana White. See,
yeah, I've seen those. I've seen those videos from like TMZ and such where I guess there was a press conference or a weigh-in or something where Brendan was brought up, and I guess Dana and him don't have a good relationship anymore.
Yeah, I hope there's more dirt there than we need.